everybody. This is Angela, and you're listening to Five Picks and a Chick featuring El Gato. This is a show that gives you 5 NFL picks for people who love football and friendly wagering. Today, we are joined by our special guest, Big Zay. Hey, thanks for being with us today, Big Zay.
What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for bringing me back.
I hope y'all both had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We did. We did. Brought in the new year pretty good. Kind of sad what happened the following day with the news, but all we can wish for is staying, being safe and staying healthy. And
The other thing
Yep.
I wanted to say was happy birthday, El Gato. I hope you had a good birthday.
wow, 6.0. That's amazing.
Happy birthday, El Gato. Happy birthday.
Thanks. Spend it out on the golf course with a bunch of friends. Have had a good time.
Well, El Gato, last week I went 3-2. My record is 50 wins, 35 losses, and my percentage for the season is at 59. You were
Mhm.
at 2-3. Your record is 47 wins, 37 losses, and one push. You're at 56%. We're both
Actually,
above 500.
we're both above 500, and you're right because these last couple of weeks, man, they've been some really tough games to pick. Spreads have been tight. Last possession games, and we know how it is in the NFL, right? You don't take care of the ball in one possession, you give up a third down to extend a drive, and the team that may produce a field goal, it may run out the clock of the game, and that's how tight the NFL is. For example, uh, that Cincinnati Denver game. All I needed, if I can go on a little rant here for about 20 seconds. All I needed was for the Bengals to make that field goal in regulation, and I would have covered. But no, the guy misses from 20 yards, goes into overtime, and what does Cincinnati do? They score a touchdown, and I lose the cover. I mean, that's how tight that damn game was.
Yeah,
And then
I was
with
going
Green
to.
Bay, Green Bay, they could have had a third down stop to prevent the Vikings from getting a field goal, but no, of course not. Of course they couldn't do it. And I lose the cover by 1.5 points. But you know, that's the way the games go. That's why I love the NFL so much. It's that tight. Every possession matter. Every snap, it seems it matters when you look back and think, well, what could have gone right? What could have gone wrong? To either for entertainment purposes, win the game or lose the game. So that's what makes it so exciting to try to pick these games the right way. The hook always gets us.
The hook. Hey, I cannot believe, guys, we are talking about NFL Week 18. I'm a little sad.
Boo. I had to
Yeah.
boo you. I had to boo you on that, Angela. I had to boo you.
I heard a big
But
sigh
you're,
from Big Day, too.
you're right. It did it
Yeah.
did pass so quickly. God, it seemed like we were
It
just in week. No, it seemed like we were just anticipating the week before, right? The Labor Day weekend, right? After that,
Hmm.
it's week one, and the weather's still kind of hot and sticky, but you know what? It's football season, and look where we are now. I'm about to cry, but I'll get through it. I'll get through it because you know why? Because now it's NFL playoffs, and that's the way. That's the best time of the
that's the
year.
beauty. That's the beauty of it. Week 18. You're not gonna see the starters out there. You're not gonna see an Eagle. You're not gonna see an Eagle break Dickerson's record. But now it's big boy football. Now it's time.
Now, when
So
you say the stars, Big Z, you mean the Dallas, the star on the helmet, right?
well, after this weekend, I ain't gotta worry about seeing them boys for a whole year. So I'm perfectly fine with that.
You're a
Perfectly
happy
fine with
dude.
that.
You're the happiest dude right
Ain't nothing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But you know what? You are right, Big Zay, because week 18, it's always tough to kind of predict these games. You don't know who the teams are going to play. They may say they're
Yep.
playing someone, but then end up sitting them. They may say they're sitting
now.
someone and end up playing them. So
Right.
I think week 18 is really hard to predict.
Yeah, to your point, Angela, you know what I was reading also? A lot of players, even though the teams are out of the playoffs, a lot of these guys are playing for bonuses,
Yep.
uh,
Yeah.
That's so
for
true.
rush yards, the running backs for rush yards per year, catches, receptions, touchdowns, tackles, sacks. I mean, their contracts are written up so weird that they get, it could be $100,000 day for them if they just get one more sack, for example, or
Hmm.
one more touchdown. That's how crazy the money is in the NFL with these players' contracts. So they're still going to keep playing. I mean, you think even a team that's out of it, they're just going to lay down and not play. Well, hell, you got several players on each team that are playing for extra money in their contract. So that's what makes it exciting, also.
Yeah, yeah, playing for those incentive
Yeah,
week. I
yes,
mean, you play for those incentives, and hell, some players are actually might be playing for next season. When they hit free agency. So you're gonna
exactly.
see some backups, and you never know who's watching. So it's
Right.
gonna be. That's why I think with the whole with all these spreads. I mean, for most of these games, you can just kind of throw them out the window. It's kind of fun just to just go out there and see what happens.
Right.
Yeah. One person that I am a little disappointed in that they say is sitting is Barkley. He's just a little over 100 yards from surpassing the record.
Yeah. Yeah.
And golly, I wish he could get that record. I really do, especially against the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would have been delicious. But you know what?
Yeah,
They've got bigger plans in the coming
exactly.
weeks. So why,
Yeah. They can't
why
risk
risk
him
it?
getting hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're exactly right.
like you said, we got bigger fish to fry. Um,
Exactly.
I think what I love most seeing with all this is just how professional and how awesome Saquon's been dealing with it. Not being a drama queen out there or anything, just kind of putting it in his coach's hands, letting the
Yeah.
organization
Yeah.
make a decision. He's okay with it, which it's a good sign going into the postseason.
I agree. All right, guys. Well, my number one pick is going to be the Cardinals -4.5 versus the 49ers. The Niners have lost 6 out of the last 7 games. Purdy is out with an elbow injury. So Dobbs is playing. He's okay, but I mean, I don't think he's going to do very well. The Niners are on a short week. Last week, their defense let up 40 points against the Lions. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
All that said, give me the Cardinals -4.5. They did play well against the Rams last week, so I'm taking the Cards -4.5. What are your thoughts on this game, Big Zay?
Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go with the 49ers. It's pretty cool to see. You're gonna see the Josh Dobbs revenge game, which I think before last week I totally forgot Josh Dobbs was even a 49er. So he gets to have a little revenge game against the Cardinals this week. I'm interested to see what the Cardinals do with James Conner. He's been one of the big vocal points of their offense. If they do plan on playing him, I mean, you can easily go with the Cardinals on this one, but I think that him having an injury history the way he does, I think I don't think they're going to push him and just kind of get him ready for next season. So for because of that, I'm gonna go with the Niners. I think that their stars are gonna show out.
What are your thoughts on this game, El Gato?
Yeah, I'm going to go with you on this one, Angela. I'm going to go with Arizona -4.5. You're right about the 49ers, losing on that losing streak, 6 games or so. That's really not 49ers football. And their defense, to your point, against the Lions, giving up 40. When have you ever seen a 49ers defense, particularly this defense, give up that many points? So they're really having some difficulties on the defensive side, and they've been going that route for the last 2 or 3 weeks. The quarterback matchup, you're going to go with Kyler versus Dobbs. I'll go with Kyler on this one. And the Cardinals also have a chance to sweep the 49ers. That's something with pride that they can talk about in the offseason, sweeping a division rival. So I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals at -4.5 to end the season. We'll see what happens.
My second pick is going to be Texans getting 1.5 at the Titans. Now, although the Texans gained nothing from a win, I don't think that they want to go into the playoffs on a 3-game losing streak. So I think that they do have something to play for. D'Amico Ryans actually said that he is playing everyone that is healthy. Of course, how long that will be, we'll see on Sunday. I think they will try to avenge their loss to the Titans earlier in the year. So I'm going with the Texans getting 1.5 points. What are your thoughts on this game, Big Zay?
I agree with you, Angela. I mean, like you said earlier, this game really doesn't mean nothing, win or lose. But I still think that even though D'Amico Ryan said that the starters or the healthy players are going to play, I do think that the backups will come in very early. And with Titans being a dumpster fire, what they are this year, I think the Texans backups will be better than the Titans starters, in my opinion.
What are your thoughts on this game, El Gato?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Texans plus 1.5. And you're right, Angela. This Houston team, losers of two or three in a row, they don't want to go limping as a 4 seed into the playoffs with a 3 or 4 game losing streak. That spells disaster moving forward. So, I think the Houston Texans coach, D'Amico, is going to have his players at least go maybe 3 quarters, really, really hard, really solid, playing some solid air-free football to get them ready and primed for a playoff run because they can't produce this game and keep playing some sloppy football, then I don't think their playoff chances of winning it in the first round are very good. So I think he'll play his starters, and that should cover the 1.5 for sure.
Yeah, if the Titans lose, they get a better draft position too. So
Yes.
that's something to be said.
Now even the Giants couldn't do that right last week, could they?
Yeah, or the Raiders, I think. Hey, Big Zay, you have a third pick for us?
I do. I got Miami -1 versus the Jets. This is a very big game for Miami. Must win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Huntley will. I think he's going to be making the start this week over Tua. He's still battling that injury. I think Huntley can get it done against a very, very terrible Jets team, a very underwhelming Jets team. And like I said, I know the Dolphins are a little bit banged up, but I still think they can get it done against this. As I said earlier, going to use the same analogy, a dumpster fire for the Jets team.
Yeah, I agree. What are your thoughts on this game, El Gato?
Yeah, I'll go with Miami -1. I'll go with the team that has something to play for in this last week of the regular season. They've won 6 of 8. The Jets on a 6 of 7 losing streak. That team just doesn't seem like they want to play at all. Really, starts with their quarterback. Really, Rodgers seems like for me, at least in my opinion, he's checked out the last couple of games. But with Miami at -1 and having something to play for, Tua maybe been cleared to play. I think they'll show out in this game and cover that -1. I'm thinking they win by a touchdown or more.
Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins as well, -1. Jets have only covered once in their last 7 games. Dolphins have won 3 out of 4 and need a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. And I know both of y'all mentioned that. This is a second straight road game for the Dolphins, but I think they overcome that. Huntley, he's definitely capable. So give me the Dolphins -1. And I think you're right. Rogers has checked out. Bye bye, Rogers.
Bye, Rodgers.
Hey,
For
you got a
sure.
fourth and fifth pick for us, El Gato?
I've got 2 picks. I've got Washington and the Cowboys. The Washington Commanders at -5. And I think Washington, I mean, they have a bunch to play for. They're in the playoffs already, but if they win, they get to play the Rams in the first round. If they lose, they get the beast from the East, the Eagles. So I think they're going to do everything they can to win this game. And Dallas really doesn't have much to play for. That first game in Washington, I think, I don't know, to me, I watched a lot of that replay. It seemed like Washington was just had a lot of lazy plays. They weren't playing with any intensity until the very end when it got really crazy. I think this game, a bunch matters as far as who they play, who they match up well with, and getting out of that first round. So a win gets them to the Rams in a solid matchup. A loss puts them in the Eagles, and I don't think they want that matchup. So I think they're going to play their butts off in this game and whip up on the Cowboys.
What are your thoughts on this game, Big Zay?
Yeah, like you said, Elgato, Washington don't want this smoke. They don't want this smoke at all.
The
I
hot smoke.
guarantee they don't want this smoke. No, I agree with you though. I think Washington wins this game. Like you said, they're playing for some seeding, the 6th seed in the playoffs. Also, this is it's Dan Quinn and going up against his former team. You know he's going to show out. You know he's going to do what he's got to do to put a pounding on the Cowboys. Cowboys, they're going to try and play spoiler, but as they've been doing all season, they're going to fail. They're going to fail miserably, and I'm going to be happy just to see them go down one more time, so that way these Cowboy fans can dread this loss till a whole nother football season. I cannot
So,
wait.
in other words, you want them to say, "Wait till next year."
They've been saying that. They've
Wait
been
till next.
saying wait till next year. They've
Wait
been
till.
saying wait till next year.
Oh my God. I agree with everything both of you guys have said. Although the Commanders are in as a wild card, they want to maintain that sixth seed.
Yeah.
Uh, this means they would have an easier matchup in the first round, Big Z. They
Yeah.
have won four in a row and should keep the momentum going. Jaden Daniels is a beast. I love Jaden Daniels.
Man,
Uh,
that dude. That
I,
dude. He's a dude.
he is. He is. He is a great quarterback. Washington -5. I don't care if it's -6. I still think Washington will cover. Give me Washington.
All right.
You have a fifth pick for us?
I do, and it's going to be a battle. It's the Lions versus the Vikings. Division rivals are playing for the division for the NFC number one seed. Lions at -2.5. Think about this, Angela and Zay. These two teams have the best records in the NFC, but the loser is going to be bumped to a number five and may not have a home game. The winner gets a bye, home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So they're playing for everything, and how fitting it comes to the last game of the week, Sunday night. Lions with a prolific offense, solid defense. Vikings have quietly won, I don't know, 7 or 8 games in a row. They got on that 2 or 3 game losing streak, I believe, mid-season, and we were like, man, they won their first 6 or 7, then they got on this losing streak, and everyone's saying, well, what's happened to the Vikings, me included? And then they've quietly just ran off a good streak of wins, and here they are playing for the division and the number one seed in the NFC. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be an exciting game. I think the Lions will prevail, though. I'll take the Lions at -2.5.
What are your thoughts on this game, Big Z?
Surprised this game isn't a pick 'em. I mean, both these teams are pretty even in my eyes. These are both great offenses. Both offenses, I feel like, have no flaws. They can both run the ball well. They can both pass the ball well. They have great outside weapons. Oh man, this one was very tough for me, but I'm gonna go with the Vikings on this one. And the reason why I'm gonna go with the Vikings, the reason why I give them the slight edge is due to their defense. I think Brian Flores, he has something special going on over there. He's got them boys playing very, very well. And man, that Viking defense, I think they're better than the Lions defense, and that's going to be the difference maker for me. So give me the Vikings.
I'm going the other way. I'm going with Detroit -2.5. This game is for the number one overall seed. The NFL could not have planned this any better. Last regular season game for 2024. So it's going to be an amazing game, like you said, Elgato. It's a matchup of the Vikings' great defense versus the Lions' number one offense. Both these teams actually have very bad passing defenses. We got two very good quarterbacks that can throw the ball. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. But I think the Lions are going to be tough to stop at home. I think this game is going to be too big for Darnold compared to Goff because of experience. So give me Detroit -2.5.
All right, I like that.
All right, guys, we're at that point. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I want to talk about maybe the surprise teams that can make a nice playoff run out of each conference in the NFC and the AFC. And my selection in the AFC is going to be Denver. I'm gonna predict they win a couple of games. Defense goes a long way in a nice playoff run. They have a quarterback that can manage the game. I think they can win a couple of games. On the NFC, I'm gonna go with Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. If they get the Rams, I think they can win that game, and then anything can happen after that. Who they get after that? Maybe the Vikings or Lions. Who knows? But as long as Jaden Daniels is at the quarterback spot, they always have a chance to win. They've got a pretty serviceable defense as well that can complement the offense. So those will be my surprise picks. Washington on the NFC side and Denver on the AFC side. What do you guys think?
What about you, Big Zay?
I think on the AFC side, I'm going to go with Harbaugh and the Chargers. That's a very exciting team to play. In my opinion, when Herbert is playing well, he can hang with the best of them. And Harbaugh, all that dude does is win. And I just think it would be a great story for him to first year back in the NFL. It's just that'd be pretty cool to see him just completely just demolish the AFC. That's been a very tough-sided conference this year. As far as the NFC, golly, it hurts to say this, but Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers, man, Baker Mayfield's a winner. That dude is a winner. That dude talks and he wins. He backs up. He backs it up. And he gave the Eagles one of their losses this year, so I have to give him that. So, but yeah, those are my two surprise teams. I think that can make the noise.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on the Chargers, Big Zay and Harbaugh. The Chargers have a good defense, a top defense, and
Mm-hmm.
they've got a strong quarterback. And you can't get a better coach. Harbaugh, I saw a stat where every team that he's taken over, he's made them a winning team. So I'm with you on the AFC side with the Chargers. That I think is going to be a surprise team. On the NFC side, I think it's going to be the Packers. That would probably be my pick. I love Jordan Love. I mean, I love Jordan Love. It's a well-rounded football team. They've got really good coaching and they can run the ball. And what wins games? We always say at this point, what wins games? Great defenses. I think they have a pretty good defense.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think those would be my two picks: Packers NFC, Chargers AFC.
Not bad. I like
kind
that.
of interesting. We're a little bit different, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, if you've made it to this point in our podcast, we just want to thank you for listening. Hit the subscribe and like button on our YouTube channel. You can also find us wherever you get your favorite podcast. Hey, Big Zay, thank you for joining us today.
I really appreciate you guys having me. Look forward to coming back. Look forward to coming back to the Super Bowl show when the Eagles are going to be in the Super Bowl. So, but in reality, being off real, I appreciate you guys for having me.
We love having you on here, Big Zay. I love your input in these games. So thanks for always being a willing participant. And get ready for that Super Bowl podcast. Hey, make sure to join us next week. Hey guys, just one thing before we quit the podcast. I just want to say, let's be NOLA strong this week. All right.
I agree. What a tragedy. Unfortunate, but can't stop evil. And when it's determined, it happens, right?
Lots of prayers to all the families and everybody involved. Situation.
I agree. I love New Orleans. That's one of my favorite cities. So I just wanted to mention that before we end the podcast.
Very good. Thanks, Angela.
All right. Hey, as always, thank you to El Gato for being part of 5 Picks and a Chick. 1, 2, 3, bet. And that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap. There you go.